Hey y'all, it's Zooks, and this is Let's Play Satisfactory, where everything is made up and the Christmas wreaths don't matter. That's right. They're like the dust at the bottom of a Cheerio bag. Welcome back to the FICSIT Apprenticeship Program. Last episode, we went through our steel platforms. We actually went through them pretty quick, and we are moving on. But this episode, I feel like I kind of hurried through last episode. It was a little bit chock full. As you can see, I've done some detailing and trying to make it look a little better. I love how this platform turned out in particular. And this was done after last episode, so this is all brand new for y'all. This one's really simple. It's just glass ceilings. But yeah, this episode, we are going to work on our coal factory, the coal power plant. We are going to get in the sort of more finalized version of our coal factory. I say factory, it's a coal power plant. And we're going to get that in and started. I've already got a bunch of it started. But I wanted to come back to the steel stuff. I feel like I rushed through it a bit and didn't get through a ton of the logistics. And I wanted to clear that up immediately in this episode. As you can see real quick, the work on our coal platform is already begun. So feast your eyes on us. We paved paradise and put up a parking lot. So this is this is me planning for the coal factory or the coal power plant. Gosh, I'm going to say that 1,000 times. But before we go into what that's going to be, I want to make sure I was clear about what the logistics are here. This is our steel foundries. There's 6. They do 45, and I want to say this again. I'm going back through this because I feel like I didn't cover it super well last episode, and these are pretty new recipes for us. And I want to make sure y'all understand it. This is an apprenticeship program. I need to be careful about what I do and say. I got to make sure that I'm thorough. So on this line, we got 270 coal coming in. And then here on this iron line that's coming in right here, I believe, there's 270 iron ore coming in. They come into 6 foundries. Each foundry does 45 of each coal and iron to make 45 steel ingots. So that's 270, obviously. These 270 get split. I think it's split in 3 ways, with 2 of them going here, and then 1 going here. This these 3 constructors do steel pipes, and the steel pipes consume 30 ingots a minute. So this is 90 here, and this is 180 on this side, because these are steel beams. Steel beams are really expensive. It's 60 per 15 a minute, basically 4 to 1. This is an expensive recipe. This is less expensive. 3 to 2 is pretty good. Now the pipes mostly get sent to stators, I believe. And the beams are sent mostly to encased beams. So we're gonna follow all of them, come through here, all the way around to these platforms. First, they stop off at this stator platform. The stator recipe is 15 steel pipes a minute and 40 wire. And we have 3 assemblers here. So basically we're consuming 45 steel pipes and 120 wire. Now we had already prepped for wire over here, and so we easily was able to get 120 wire. And on top of that, we are making 60 steel pipes. So we have an excess of 15 because we're making 45. So real easy. Those go in here, and the stators along with these rotors come down under here all the way to our motor platform. Now the motor platform is really straightforward. It's just 10 rotors, 10 stators. And up here I have 3 assemblers, and each of them make 5 stators. So we're storing 5, and then we're sending 10 to motors. And on the rotor side, we're storing X rotors. I don't remember how much, but we're sending 10 rotors a minute down here. So we make 5 motors per minute in this factory that goes straight to storage. Now, still underneath here, and I haven't gussied up this platform yet, is steel beams. And steel beams are coming in. I wonder if that's backing up. Oh yeah, you know what? That's supposed to back up. My bad. I'll explain that in a sec though. This is the recipe for encased industrial beams. This is actually a pretty expensive recipe. There's an alternate recipe. I think I even picked it up for steel pipes, and it's way better. But we're gonna stick with this for now. The steel beams, it's 24 a minute on steel beams and 30 a minute on concrete for 6 encased industrial beams. Really straightforward. The concrete is coming in from our concrete platform. 30, I mean, we're making 240 of the concrete platform, so we're just taking, I think, 2 constructors and sending them this way. And the way we have our steel beams set up is that we're actually sending 30 steel beams a minute here. And then I believe it's right here, there's a smart splitter. And so basically all the steel beams come in here, and as soon as they start overflowing, they come out. So any overflow gets sent this way to storage, and the overflow should be the excess, because splitting 30 into 24 is kind of a pain in the butt, and I didn't want to have to deal with it. That's not technically load balanced. Now that's enough of that. I'm not going to go over the concrete. It was really straightforward, the concrete. And I want to get into what this episode is going to be all about, and that's coal. We have to expand our power infrastructure if we want to do anything else. We're really cutting it close here, and we want to get going on some of our... specifically, I want to get to work on my space elevator platform. That's really what I want to do. But I currently would be worried about the power demands of such a thing. So I spent some time laying out a foundation, and I'm going to tell you, I want to try to go into the details a little bit about what this is. Before I put all these foundations down, I knew I wanted to make a coal generator out here because there's 4 coal nodes right here, and there's just this big body of water, right? It's easy to see that I want to make that happen. Okay. Now, one thing I was struggling with, and again, watch the long play if you want to see me sort of sussing all the stuff out. But you have to get the platforms high enough. Here's sort of the problem, right? When I put these platforms up this high, I have to get water all the way up. And so that requires pumping. And so that requires electricity, which immediately, lessens the efficiency of the coal generator. So I need to try to limit this as much as possible, but at the same time, I don't want my foundations clipping into my miners. And this miner in particular was the tallest miner I got. So I put the foundations at this level. Once I picked this sort of height for the foundations to be at, I had to sort of come up, and I'm gonna say, I'll show you a little bit of what this was. I had to find the right sort of line. There's a lot of, see these little, every time you mouse wheel, you can change sort of this by I don't even know what the degree is. But you can change this a little bit here and there. And so I was trying to figure out the best way to fit my entire factory. And I say this, I know I've done some planning on a spreadsheet. There's 4 normal nodes of coal down there. I know, and I don't want to spoil a lot of this for y'all. Granted, I have a decent amount of experience in this game, and I don't want to spoil some of the discovery of it all for some of y'all watching. But I know how much coal I can get out of this area, and I know how many generators, how many extractors I will need. And I'm not the kind of person that likes to tear that. When I make something like this, I don't want to have to tear it down and redo it when I already know what I'm gonna need. So instead, I planned out the factory like I will be able to complete it, even though I will not. At the moment, we have Mark III belts and we have Mark II miners. And spoiler alert, there is a Mark IV and a Mark V belt, and there's a Mark III miner. And so I don't have those tiers available, I guess I should say. The tiers, and I haven't unlocked those belts yet. So I'm not going to necessarily need all this area right now, but I will need it in the future. So I'm going to go, I went ahead and laid out what the plan was, and I want to show you sort of the theory and this is what I do for large projects. I know for this we have 4 nodes. Each node, I believe I can get 600 coal eventually from each node, and each node's, let's see, let me get my calculator up. I can get 600 from each coal from each node, and if I divide that by 15, that's 40 coal generators per node, right? So I know each coal, so, and obviously that's 40 times 4, because we're gonna have 160 coal generators in here, because we have 4 coal nodes and 40 coal generators a node. So we have some nice and easy numbers here. For one line is 40. So I have to come up with a layout. I only really have to come up with one layout, and then I can just mirror that on the other 3 nodes. So I'm going to try to figure out a layout for the first line, and then I'm just going to copy paste that over, you know what I mean? And on top of that, I want to come up with, I have this nice sort of tileable design where there's a good ratio of, I believe this thing takes 45 water a minute, right? And so if you get my calculator, why's my calculator not coming up? So you can take, it takes 45 water a minute, 45, and if you multiply this times 8, you get 360. Okay, so 8 coal generators will consume 360 water, and that's a perfect split for 3 water extractors, because water extractors extract water at 120 a minute. So that's a really good tileable ratio. Is I can make 8. I'll make 8 coal generators with 3 water extractors, and what I'll do is I just do that 5 times. So what I did is I laid out 8. I came up with sort of I figured out the dimensions that would take by coloring the outsides of this section green. So inside this section here is 8 coal generators, right? And so I need to do this 5 more times for this 1 coal node eventually, right? I mean, I'm saying all this, I do not have the production to fill up all 40 of these, and I'm not going to need to. I think let me check my spreadsheet. I think this setup really only needs, what is 32 divided by 4? Yeah, I'm only going to need 18 coal generators a node. So it's not like, it's not that big. I don't have to fill up this whole area, but I'm showing you sort of the process of, because I don't want to have to, all I want to do is when I add production, I just want to add coal generators and have a design ready to go. So here, I put in 8. I figured out how much space I need for 8. And then I just took the amount of foundations and I counted them off and took it this way 5 times. So now and on top of that, because I want to limit the amount of space my conveyor belts take up, so I'm going to convey them underneath here through on this platform here and have it conveyed up into these. So basically I'm taking this and I'm gonna flip it over here, and then I'm gonna use this two segment setup over here. This purple pathway is going to be the center, and it will have nothing on it. The plan is to be able to take an Explorer through there or something, or a truck. And then I have a similar situation here. We'll have our coal generators between the green, the blue, and the purple, and they'll be facing inward to this blue line. I feel like I'm talking like a little bit scatterbrained, but it all makes sense to me in my head. And I just wanted to try to share this with you before I start building, give you a little bit of insight into the plan. Where I'm currently stuck at is trying to figure out how I'm gonna lay out the water. And I'm gonna sit here and stare at this a little bit longer, but I'm currently, here's what is gonna end up happening, is I'm gonna end up with pipes coming down here, and I don't want, I gotta figure out the best way to do this. I don't know if this is where I wanna shoot them up individually like this, or if I should. I think I might like take all the pipes, bring them over here, lift them all up together, and then pipe them all along that way, so it looks a bit cleaner. So we'll see. But I wanted to share with you that idea. Like I said, the numbers behind this are pretty simple. Coal generators don't produce anything but power. So it's not like we need to monitor any outflows too much. And we're really just tracking water and coal. And the coal is really easy. It's just 15. These things consume 15 a minute, and they consume 45 water a minute. So we just have to meet those requirements and get it done. And this is sort of the so once I figured out how much this tile, right, I'm gonna play around with the design here, and I'm gonna try to perfect what I want to see here, and that way it'll be really easy to keep building, because I'm just gonna copy this over and over and over. So that's what this is. This is my 8 coal generator setup, and up top is going to be these pipes. I want to have these because of the way the one thing I guess I didn't go into too much detail is the water mechanics in this game are a little bit finicky. They're not perfect, and for example, you shouldn't think of these pipes like you would think about conveyor belts so much, because the way the extractors work is that they pump a bunch of water, and they do it kind of, I'm gonna call it, they do it unevenly, and so that's why you end up with these weird sort of power losses. And I experienced this too. You end up with these weird power spikes where you lose power for a sec. Right there, boom. See that? Now, I don't really know, but my theory is that I had a coal generator that was consuming water, and the water pump pumps the water into a pipe, and it pumps it in, not in a straight line. All the conveyors, the production of a conveyor belt is straight line all the way across. It doesn't fluctuate. It doesn't do like 150 and then 50 and then 150 and then 50. It does 100 the whole time, right? But the pumps, the way the water extractors work is that the water extractors build up. They build up a little bit of power without pumping anything, and then boom, they pump a bunch of water out, and they do this at approximately 120 a minute. Now, it doesn't. I say it's approximately because I definitely should have gotten. There should not ever be a dip here, but clearly the water production here is not a straight line. Now, I have been testing. I think I can just pop down here. Yeah, I have been testing here. These things, these buffers, and I actually just stared at one of these for about 5 minutes, And if you watch, this is sort of illustrates this problem. See, there's times where the fill rate gets high and the drain rate gets low, and all these numbers fluctuate. And that's because there's not flat rate. This isn't a flat rate. So I'm putting these fluid buffers here, and I'm going to recommend y'all do the same. It's hard to explain, but I get the feeling, right, that one of these turns on, and at one point it might read the pipe. It's going to like look in the pipe, and for whatever reason, maybe it doesn't. What did I put here? This town pipe center. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking about doing. I was right, past me. But it's gonna read. It's looking into this pipe, and if this pipe is full, it's not gonna pump. It's gonna like shut down, right? And so if for like even a fraction of a second, this thing looks like it's full and not consuming all the water, then this shuts down, and it shuts down for X amount of time before it realizes, oh hey, I gotta keep pumping more water. And that creates that sort of imbalance where we get that spike where all of a sudden a cold generator shuts down. So what I want to do is just have a place so that these pipes never back up in the slightest, and they should constantly be filling this. We'll see. I'm not an expert in the water mechanics of this game. It's not I know I have struggled. It has been the biggest thorn in my side, having some worlds where I'll make a perfectly I've planned out a coal generator perfectly, and I keep getting these weird spikes, fluctuations in power, and it drives me up the wall. So this is my new plan, is to throw on a fluid buffer in the hopes of trying to balance out that weird fluctuation that happens. And as you can see here, there's 8 pipes going down to each of the coal generators and 3 pipes coming in. Because like I said, 8 coal generators are going to consume 360 water, and and water extractors, they consume or produce 120 water. So we're going to give this a go. Like I said, I'm not doing, obviously we're not going to be filling out this whole thing because I don't produce that much coal yet, and I'm going to need improved miners and belts to do that anyway. But I think we're currently slated to have a total of 72 coal generators. And that'd be a total power generation of 5,400. Now, if you take out the amount of water the power it takes for water extractors, which is like 10%, I think, we'll be netting about 4,860 power. So that is the plan, and I'm gonna play with this design a little bit. I'm gonna have I know I've been reading y'all's comments, and I totally agree. I'm really not good with the lights. I've played with the lights before, and I've never felt completely comfortable with the lights. Where are the lights? I don't even know where they are, but I feel like here would be a great place for some lights. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to play around. I'm definitely going to have lights in here, though. And I'll have lights in there, too. But I wanted to show you this idea, and this is my recommendation when you start planning a big build. Find a sort of, you don't have to. Find a little tileable design, some nice sort of ratio of, like, I know that 8 coal generators are extremely, like, will only require 3 water extractors, and I'm gonna set that up in a little segment here, and then I'll keep that segment separate, and we'll just duplicate that segment till, you know, I think that's a great way to sort of plan, because you can get real over. It's one thing too, I don't like having just like, I don't want this to be an ocean of coal generators, you know what I mean? I'm gonna close these off. I want this to be like, I'm gonna have walls here, I'm gonna have a door there, and I want to come in here and just feel a little bit more enclosed, because I hate the look of just having a sea of machines out there. I feel like it just looks a little sloppy. I say I hate it. I don't hate it. I've always done that, and I want to try to do better with the building, especially with update 5. I feel like I have no excuses now. So I'm gonna get going for now, and I'll probably cut back with you in when I get done with this coal generator, and that's it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my sheets, where I will be going through my spreadsheets with you fine FICSIT employees. Welcome to the first, I don't even know what to call this, the first time I'm going to be sharing a spreadsheet mid-episode with you, and you might be hearing in my voice now, I am terribly sick and have been sick for a bit, so I just sound like wait, see, listen to this. Yeah, it's pretty sick. So I wasn't going to record, but I've finished the coal factory, and I will be showing you that shortly. But I want to show the spreadsheet and sort of walk you through a different type of spreadsheet too. And we're only going to do this for, I think that I'm going to limit myself to 5 minutes, where we don't go over 5 minutes in discussing the spreadsheet, because I want to take us straight into the build for the power generator. So first off, welcome to the spreadsheet. I think I'm going to put a link of this down in the description, so look for that if you're interested. The other spreadsheets I've shown you have been a little bit a little bit more on the micro level, and what you're looking at here is a very macro level spreadsheet for planning on my coal generator that's in the West Dune Forest. I'm sick. What you'll see, let me just walk you through this real quick. There's 4 sections here. Each section is of the same 4 coal nodes as I progress through my tiers and get access to new miners and new belts. And it tells me exactly what I gain and exactly how many things I need to build per when I get to the upgrades. The reason this isn't super micro level, like maybe a starter base factory was, or the smart plates, or it's because it doesn't need to be. A coal generator pulls in raw coal and water. There's two machines, 3 if you want to count miners. So it's not there's not much to sort of lay out. That's why I use this in this circumstance, and I just sort of get an idea for how much I need to build. But first, let me show you. This is our V1 coal generator, where we only have. We're up to tier 2 requirements, and we'll have a Mark 1 miner and a Mark 2 belt, meaning our max item throughput is 120. And with a Mark 1 miner on our normal node, you can get 120 resources out of it. And we had 3 nodes. 1 had to be unlocked with a Nobilis detonator, which we didn't have at the time. As you see here, we've unlocked the 4th one here. With this, I'm taking our self or our resource per node and multiplying it times the number of nodes we have. So we get a total coal supply of 360 per minute. And each coal generator, if you look into the UI of the coal generator while it's running, you'll see that it takes 15 coal a minute. So you divide this number by 15 and you get 24 coal generators. You get water extractors you have to take the amount of coal generators you have. They consume 2.6 water, 2.6 repeating. 2.66 repeating, of course, to run the coal generator. So you just take your coal generator, divide that by 2.66, and you get 9. And what you do is each coal generator generates 75 power. So you multiply your coal generators times your 75, which is the amount of power it generates, and you get this total number. I also like to take however much power my water extractors use and include that in the calculation. As you can see, it's exactly 10%. It takes 20 power to run these things, and for each water extractor we have, the total ends up being 180, which is 10%, which is interesting. Net power gain of 1620, right? And then over here, I just have some supply stuff so I can kind of get in my head what I need to have ready to go. But I highlight this one green as because this is where we're at in the game. We got through our tier 4 requirements. We got a Mark 2 miner and a Mark 3 belt. 4 nodes, pulling in 270 per node. And that gives me 1,080 ore or 72 coal generators. Now, 72 coal generators, 27 water extractors for a net power gain of 4,860 power. So that's it. That's going to be it. That's all this is going to be. I just want to show you this. I'm hoping not to make these longer than 5 minutes. This is pretty close. My timer's showing me at 6, but I don't know. So we'll see. But in the future, expect these to be 5 minutes where I just very briefly go through the spreadsheets of the factory I was building in the episode. Let me know what you think of this. This is a shout out to, I believe his name is Kip. Shout out to Kip, who gave me this. He was interested in seeing more of the spreadsheets. I think they're interesting as well. And he gave me this idea. I think this is a great, or inspired me for this idea. I think this is great. Thank you, Kip, for the support and for watching and the comment. So let's get back to the episode. Welcome back, y'all. I encourage you to return your seats to their upright positions. We are back, and you might hear my voice. Actually, you probably, I don't know why I'm saying this. You should have just heard the spreadsheet review, the first one ever. But I'm a bit sick, so I pardon the scratchy, deep voice. I already have a deep voice, but it's just now way down deep here, like in gravel. So, but I have finished the coal generator. In fact, I had excess time and was able to make some upgrades to the base that I want to show you too. And I wanted to get this recording done so I can go ahead and move on to the next episode's worth of work. And that being the space elevator. But we'll get there. I want to show you the progress that I have made, specifically 2 things. Excuse me. I want to show you the base upgrades I did and the coal generator. So feast your eyes on my coal power plant. Ta-da! This is probably the largest jump cut of this series so far. Like I said, I started when I started this episode and started the coal generator. It was I was not sick. I started working on it and got sick and ended up having a ton of time to work on it. And I'm gonna show you or a bunch of it. And I'm also gonna show you. I had so much time that I finished it. It's all detailed out, and I have finished some other extra stuff I wanted to get done to the starter base. So let's show you. First off, you probably saw it already. I added some hypertubes. I had been meaning to add these hypertubes so I could get around some of the parts of the base. In fact, I think I'm gonna add a couple more, but at the moment, this is all I got. I kind of move at the speed of light. Also, let me know. I'm tweaking around. I'm noticed when I was near the coal power plant while working on it that I was getting a lot of frame loss on my capturing. So I wanna keep this. Oh yeah, lights, everyone. Say hello to the lights. No, but let me know about the quality. If you see the quality tank somewhere, I'm not super great at noticing if it does, but I'm trying not to. Say hello to the new upgraded hub center for our base. As you can see, I got 3 tubes here. That one's off, I'm just noticing. But I have a tube going to the steel foundry, that's where we just came from, to our starting miner location. So that's basically to get to the ground, to the beach, and this is to the coal power plant. I have a couple more tubes that I might fill out here. I've obviously put some lights in. I love I was tweaking the colors. This is the color I ended up with. And I'm pretty happy with it. It looks, I really don't like that white light too much, and I love the way this looks. I've added, oh, this is also super huge. Say hello to the dump bin and the keep bin. Basically, I was having an issue. This is my sort of auto sorter slash, you know, dump. If I have stuff that I don't need, like I don't need this much concrete. I'm gonna throw some concrete in here, and it goes on a conveyor out, and it'll meet up with my copper sheet line, I believe, and go to the sink. And our copper sheet line has has only like 90 items on it per minute. So that gives me enough throughput to get a 120 belt on there, which is what's on there. So anything that is not meant for the keep bin, I can just dump here for points. This is the keep bin, and this is a little bit not perfect, obviously. And again, I'm sorry about my scratchy voice, guys. I wanted to get this recorded so bad, because I'm really antsy. I've done so much extra little stuff, and I'm just ready to get going on my space elevator. So I really wanted to get this recorded. I hope you all understand. This is super. I've been sick, and I'm so sick of being sick. And I hope you can understand that I just want to keep moving. And this is me keeping moving. All right. I know you all understand. This is the keep bin. What this is there stuff in the game that is just, you know, that's like additional production stuff that's like not obvious, and it's stuff that I end up going into bins and out of bins, going into little containers, and it takes forever to get in and out of inventory, and like I have to craft stuff manually. Not happening. So up here real quick, those are the items that you're supposed to put in the bin. And I've added a couple places here. All of our barrel nuts, pale berries, and bacon agaric are going to go here. Alien carapace, alien organs are going to go here. And mycelia and fabric. I always end up with a lot of mycelia. I just put fabric in there just because. This is where my rebar and maybe my other ammo goes. Color cartridge, power shards, and biofuel. B fuel. But what you can do, this bin is meant to make unloading off of an exploration run a little easy. You got leaves. If you got leaves, any of this stuff, put it in this bin, and it goes through this like elaborate series of sorters, of smart splitters. Some of these splitters go straight into bins, like our pale berries, our barrel nuts and stuff. There's no additional processing happening to these 3 items, so they just get split in one of these splitters, and they come down here and they go into that bin. It's really simple. Excuse me. And some of this stuff does, like mycelia, does not require additional production. Biofuel does not require additional production. Something else, rebar, color cartridges, power shards, alien stuff. Like this stuff doesn't require additional production. It gets sorted in a smart splitter here, and then it comes up this belt, and it comes up a belt and gets sent to a bin that it belongs. The other stuff, leaves, wood, and biomass. What else? Leaves. I put iron rods here. You'll see why. And then slugs. And I think that's it. They all get sent through to a new production area. That's sort of like, I don't want to say temporary construction, but it's more not super important. I should have gone below. Guys, I have cleaned up the starter base so much. I've had a lot of time being done with the coal generator, that I have. There should be like no concrete platform, like concrete that doesn't belong on the bottom of these. Let's see. So this is where I'm just gonna follow this belt. If it's supposed to get sent to a bin off the sort, it goes there. Everything else comes here, where it's sorted in additional time. I can't remember what the purpose. Oh, for these other bins that are over here, I think. Oh, okay. Well, that's what you get. That's what you get, Zooks, for trying to stick and do all that. Anyway, there's a bunch of splitting that goes on there, okay? And then if you come over here, that's where that belt, that's where there's some more sorting. And then it gets sent through here. All the items that will be used in a production process to make, like, say I want to, I put a slug in that bin. It gets sent through here, sorted, and up here are a bunch of constructors. I wonder, do I have a? I just cleaned this place up, and I'm about to throw some other random stuff on it. But whatever, I'll live. And I don't know how much longer I am going to be able to talk, because I'm already feeling it. Anyway, underneath these platforms are constructors, right? You have to add a lot of like buffer containers, just a heads up. But as you put stuff on this, it gets sent through to a constructor based on what item it is. So there's a smart splitter on the other side of this, and it's meant to just receive iron rods. And if I put something in the keep bin, like an iron rod, it gets sent through all the way through the sorter, sent to this constructor to make some additional spiked rebar, and then sent back through the storage to the spiked rebar container. And it's like that for everything here. We got power shards, so all the slugs that come through automatically get sent through on into constructors to automatically make them into power shards. Let's see what else we got here. Power shards. Flower petals for color cartridges. We got leaves. So the leaves and the biomass are a little bit weird, because you want to be able to put biomass in the keep bin, and it has to go. So, and the leaves and the wood also come through here. So leaves, wood, and biomass come through here, and then you have to recycle whatever biomass is made from the leaves. Has to go back in through the sorter system. So it's a bit of a, you have to be careful. It's easy to get like backed up. But I have worked on this diligently. I've really wanted this in the starter base. This basically means that if I go out, or if I do a little bit of work somewhere and I have this, you always end up with like leaves and wood and stuff like that. Or if I have a bunch of slugs and stuff like that, I don't have to manually craft them anymore. I just run over here. Like if I have some extra rods I'm not going to use, I'm just going to dump the rods in here. They get sent through to go get turned into spiked rebar, and I can accumulate some spiked rebar here for whenever I need it. Everything else is dumped. This basically is like, if you have something you don't want to keep on you, and you don't want to keep it all, throw it in this bin. It's going straight into a sink, you know? So that is the other huge thing. We did this. We cleaned up the whole place, really. And it's no longer looking like a bit of a mess. Let's see if I get my, I want to show y'all. I see how I put those rods in there. I really want to see my machine on and working so you can see how this sort of works. Look. Man, excuse me. Boom. Already. Automatic spiked rebar on demand, like just whatever. This is, I mean, I don't have to think about that at all. It's great. Y'all should try it. FICSIT approves. So those were the two big things. I cleaned up a lot of these platforms. Like, I mean, I put some concrete stuff in, and I cleaned up a lot of platforms. But this isn't why you're here. You're not here for all this. You're here to see the jewel of our FICSIT Apprenticeship Program world. And we're going to go take you there. To the coal power plant. I already showed you the spreadsheet. Hold on. The spreadsheet sort of goes through the macro level stuff of how many resources we have. Hold on. And so I'm gonna go over a little bit with you. So welcome to the control tower. I say tower, it's not really a tower, for the power plant. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have finally used some lights. We got a bunch of lights going on. I'll show you them while we're in the build. But if you take a look, you're gonna see a ton of work has been done. In fact, you'll notice, the keen-eyed among you will notice that is a lot of coal generators and not all of them are on. That's because if you saw my spreadsheet, you know that I have planned for whenever I get to the final upgrades for miners and belts. So I have this already planned out in a ready to receive the full amount of materials. At the moment, we're pulling 270 coal per minute out of the ground. Eventually, we will be able to pull 780 coal out of the ground. So I just went ahead and put in all the coal generators. And what we'll do, I'll show you how we're going to upgrade this thing. I made it really easy. This is what the power situation looks like. We are at 5,400, which is what I thought we were going to be at if you look at the spreadsheet. Let's go in and take a look inside. This is a control tower. Basically what this is down here, I have 4 lines, 4 power lines going in. I take that back. Technically, I have 3 power lines going in, 1 power line going out. The main power to the coal generator comes in on a line not connected to the grid of the world, you know what I mean? It comes in by itself and into this. And then I have this other line coming out, and this line connects to the grid, right? It connects to the world. So if I were to say turn this off or flip the switch, then I'm turning off the coal generator to the grid. So that way, for whatever reason, if I feel like I need to turn it off, I can turn it off. The other 2 lines coming in are lights. So I have lights on the roof and lights on the interior. So they have to be treated differently. The lights on the roof need to be in night mode, and the lights on the interior need to be on the whole time. And here is... Oh wait, I'm gonna pause for a sec. I'm gonna figure out how to turn these off. Well, I don't really know how to hide these, but there's some waypoints. I have a factory cart running around here. Welcome to the interior of the coal generator. I talked to you before about the tiles. We have tiles for this generator. As you can see, I got some lights going on. This is the central... this factory is basically split... Hey, buddy. Is split up into 10 segments. Each segment is on either side. It's split in 2, and then it's split in 5. So on this side is 5, and that's called the B side, and this is called A side. And then they're numbered 1 to 5 from south to north. The central part is this part that splits it. Let's go. We'll just walk through one side. Let's see. What do I talk about next? Okay. For one, the exterior, we got this little roof bit on the end, and we're filling the gap there with more power storage. We have additional batteries on the side of this building in some unused space that's not really useful in the navigation of the building. So I have this carrying additional power storage. And this is the central corridor to a building for a coal generator. And you'll notice we're missing the top half of our conveyor lift. And that's on purpose. Like I said, we don't... at the moment, we're sitting on Mark II miners and Mark III belts. So we don't have the maximum throughput of coal that we can have in this area. When we do, all I need to do is come here and add a lift. If it wasn't, it's crooked. That's no big deal. We can fix that. But that's what this is. It's open. And what I have signs here. The big sign is what building you're in. The small sign is what building is lying beyond. And I talked to y'all about tileable designs, and it's this tileable design is 8 coal generators. 8 coal generators can consume exactly the water production of 3 water extractors. So that's why I was very specifically using this number. Man, this is going to be a lot of talking for a sick guy. All right, y'all bear with me. On the roof, I guess let me show you more on the inside. So the interior is just the water pipes coming from above and the conveyor belts coming from below. I know Kip, I know you didn't like the glass foundations. I just had them here and I don't have them anywhere else. I would like being able to see if coal is stopped or stuttering or something. I want to see it immediately. This is how I do it. But the coal comes in from below and the water comes in from above, kind of. Back here, if you hop back here, we got a platform up here where I can kind of see. I hook up all my coal generators along the back, and a water pipe brings water from below. So it's only superficially coming from the top. But I specifically wanted to bring it up so I could use this setup. We have 3 water pipes. Like I said, the tileable design we're using is 8 coal generators, 3 water extractors. So we have 3 pipes, each bringing in 180. I'm sorry, not 180, 120. Let's get to a working generator. How about that? So there's 3 3 water extractors for each of these. Let's see. Perfect. And so as you can see, we got the flow rate's obviously weird with these water pumps. I think I talked about it a little bit. It's never exactly 120, right? It's always bumping up and bumping down, and it fluctuates around 120, but it's meant to be 120 a minute. And then it gets put into one of these fluid buffers. The goal here is, like I think I've talked to y'all, I struggle with the fluid in this game. I haven't managed to get it consistent, and my hope is that these fluid buffers help with maintaining a consistent level of input of water into the system. That's my goal. So far, I have seen it dip. This is not perfect. I have seen my capacity dip here and there. It's super infrequent though. In fact, more infrequent than it has been in the past. So I feel like I've been relatively successful. I have some lights up here to light up my pipes around here. As you can see, we got 3 pipes coming up from below. I'm going to show you the belly of the beast in a second. And on the roof here, we just have the pipes meeting up. We got the pipes coming in off the fluid buffers. They meet up, and then these pipes go down to the coal generators. It's extremely simple, and again, it's the same design in each building. Same design. I did the same thing. It makes it easy to build. There's not really much that differs from part to part, right? So let's take a look down in the guts of this place. I don't actually, and probably should, have a better way of getting... Oh no, I do kind of have a way. Hey bud. Oh, I was gonna say, the smaller sign is for the building beyond. As you can see, I got this. The lifts come up here, and so when upgrading this, it's gonna be really easy. I'm just gonna add lifts to the coal generators that need them. That's it, because I have them connected on the bottom. I just don't have it connected on the top. Let's take a look down below, because my amount of talking is going to be running dry. Excuse me. We're gonna go all the way to the end here. All right, let me know what you think of this design. By the way, I don't like, I like stuff to have some sort of sense, and I feel like this looks supported, right? This looks like it's supported. At least I kind of think it does. Below, we got our 4 miners on this side. Like I said, I cleaned up everything. Everything looks fantastic. We got our miners working over here. All the coal gets grabbed and sent along these 2 splines all the way into these things that go up and then into the surface here. And then let's take a look at our water. There's a couple bins here that I gotta empty out. I feel like there's some Nobilisk in here. Yeah, they got black powder over here. But you can tell this is very different from what I had here before. Yeah, those are 3 bins I needed to get rid of, and I had, yeah. These are our water extractors. There are a ton of them. I believe the current number is... Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, this is the... Oh, I got to explain myself. So, because of... I didn't want to... I wanted the expansion of this coal power plant to be easy. I went ahead and built all my water extractors. So, as you see here, there's actually probably more than double the amount of water extractors you need at this moment based on the amount of coal I got. But I wanted to go ahead and have them in place because it'll make upgrading easier. They're not consuming additional power here. The only thing they're doing is superficially increasing the amount of, like, the total amount of power required kind of number. But you'll see here, I have them pipes coming in, and they all accumulate on these splines. A lot of fancy pipe work here. I did a lot of swimming while I was building this. Let's get... As you can see, I know exactly what I'm doing. Perfect. And basically what we have is 15 pipes. These pipes all move here to this wall, and they come through the wall here, and they go up. And they have to get these pumps. We have pumps here that pump it up all the way to about here. As you can see, it's a little bit, fluid. So, like, I had to put the pumps lower on these pipes than on those 2 pipes up there to get the head lift we needed. But, it's a little bit finicky, but it's we got it there. But like I said, we put all this, it goes up here into this central spline. As you can see, we got another set going up this way for this other line. And you'll see they come up through the center along the coal, and they go all the way down, and just a pipe splits off all the way down. All the way down, water goes. It's really self-explanatory though. We got 15 pipes. Now, I know I could have merged these pipes only move 120, right? I know that, you know that. I could have limited the amount of pipes I have to pull up there by just merging the pipes. But one thing I didn't want to do is I didn't want to make a build that would all of a sudden I would need to redo all my pipes to upgrade the pipes. You know what I mean? Like you get a Mark II pipe for double the capacity in the pipe. I didn't want to force myself to come in here and upgrade all the pipes. That was one reason. And 2, if I end up where I feel like I was getting that spike, I wanted to be able to maybe overclock one here or there and maybe add water into a pipe. I don't mind having additional pipes coming up through here. And really I could have just done this in 2 pipes, right? These do 120, these do 120 a minute. I could have just done 120 and used the splitters and whatever to divide this 360 into 180 and then transport just 180, right? Totally could have done that, and I just decided not to. It cost me more pipes but that's not the end of the world for me. I like that number 15, and I like the setup of the 3 pipes I have per coal generator, and I kind of wanted to visualize that a little bit easier. And so that's why I kind of decided to do this. And obviously there's a ton of water extractors back here, and we're all linked up. There's pumps right along this wall, and this is how we're getting water to our coal generators. And with, honestly, I think that after explaining all this, I'm pretty much done explaining what I need to explain for this episode. This is the coal generator. Like I said, I started this episode and I was not sick. And then I got sick. And I was putting off this recording because I didn't want to sound like a frog that had just been hit by a car. And so what I did, I finished the build, and then I just kept kind of tweaking little things here and there. I went back to the starter base and, I went back to the starter base and did I'm losing my mind. The hypertubes. I did the hypertubes, and then I was like, well, I'll just work on my bins and get my auto storage type things set up. And I just started, and then I started gussying up stuff, and I was about to start cleaning up a little bit more, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to come in here. I'm sick. I'm going to talk to everybody. It'll be fine. I don't mind, that I have at the moment 60 subscribers. I'm not that stressed out about sounding ridiculous on the internet. I don't care. I wanted to show y'all the masterpiece I have created. It's not perfect, and I don't pretend to be perfect, but I think it looks cool. I really like some of the design features. I especially like the roof situation. First off, I really like this main hallway. I think this looks amazing. I love the way this looks, and I'm a big fan of the roof. I always struggle with roofs, and I felt like I really did well here with all this stuff. Putting all this stuff on the roof sort of kept me from having those roofs that look extremely bland and just featureless. And having these pipes on the roof made it look so cool. It's got that sort of industrial roof vibe going on, and I'm a big fan. I really enjoyed it. But really, I think that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Next episode, we are going to get even further out of the base. The plan is to take you to the space elevator factory. I haven't even started the factory. I think I haven't even really been to the location yet. So I'm really excited. We're gonna get this space elevator factory in, and then we're gonna get into finally progressing through the tiers again, and I'm extremely excited about that. We're gonna get into our tiers, get our milestones, and keep on chugging away. I'm extremely excited about that prospect. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. I love seeing the comments. I like knowing things you liked. You think this water tower thing on top is stupid? I want you to tell me it's stupid, and then tell me things that y'all do. Let me know about different ideas. Y'all told me I didn't do enough lighting. One thing I realized in doing this, and it's the reason I stopped, trying to play with lighting a while ago, is that when all these lights are on, I'm losing, I think, 1,000 megawatts of power just for the lights. And I think I remember putting in a bunch of lights, when I was just playing by myself before I was recording. And I was I put the lights in, I realized I was tanking my entire power structure just with lights, so I stopped using them. So I'll probably turn them on and then maybe just have them off when we're not, around the base, just so I don't tank all the power out of my base. But anyway,
Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, comment. I did say that. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go and to the ER and recover. So that's it. Well, it's over. Yeah. Bye.